Hey guys, it's Brian. We're back in the garage with the Frostbite JL, and today we're going to go ahead and dismount a bead lock. So I did recently get a screw in my tread of my front left tire, so what we're going to do, we're going to pull that out, swap it out for the spare, and we're going to unmount it. I've seen several ways of doing this. We don't have the tools like you would at a tire shop. Our local tire shop doesn't want to touch bead locks, so we're going to go ahead and do it ourselves. And we're going to try this with a high lift jack. Not the safest way to do it, so I don't recommend it, but we're going to give it a shot anyways. That way we can get that tire patched up properly and get it back on the Jeep. Alright, let's go ahead and tackle it. Okay, so we went ahead and got that driver's side jacked up. You guys can kind of see where I marked where that screw is. It's kind of right in the center of the tread, and then when you start messing with it, you do hear air hissing. So it is all the way through, unfortunately. So I'm going to have this pulled. We'll take it apart, get it off the bead lock, and then they'll properly patch it at the tire place. They'll put a patch on the inside and plug it. I do have a trail fix kit for plugging these if you have this happen on a trail, but since we're going to take it off anyways, they'll do it properly, so that way it'll last a long time. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll get this off the wheel. So I did go ahead and mark my bead lock ring, that way I can keep track of where it was so we can get it mounted somewhat similar to the way it is currently. So let's go ahead and get this tire off and we'll start getting it off the wheel. Alright, so now that we got the tire with the screw in it off the Jeep, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let all the air out of it with our apex valve so there's no pressure in there, and then we're going to try to pop this inner bead. So the idea is to get the high lift jack kind of right here close to the edge without touching the actual wheel, and then we're going to kind of put it in our trailer hitch there and put some pressure on it, and hopefully we can pop this, and then we'll move around and pop it. Once we get that inner bead off, we'll just pop the ring on the front and we should be able to pry that tire off. Should be pretty easy. I've seen this done before. Let me get the high lift jack off the roof there. We'll go ahead and give this a shot. Alright, now that we've got the high lift off, let's go ahead and let all the air out. Get this down to 0 psi, and then we can go ahead and break that back bead. If you guys haven't seen these valves before, these are pretty cool. These are made by Apex Designs, and it allows you to air down pretty quick. We'll leave that guy open so we can keep venting air if there's a little bit more in there. Another way to do this is to get a valve stem puller tool if you've got a regular valve stem, and you can just pull that out. They'll do the same thing. These are pretty nice though if you've got these dual drilled KMCs for airing down on the trail and filling back up. Alright, so let's go ahead and flip her over. We'll get the jack on there and we'll see if we can pop that back bead. Alright, so I went ahead and got her lined up there. That looks pretty good without getting too close to the wheel. I don't want to mar it up. So we're going to go ahead and we'll jack it off the hitch here, and we'll see if we can slowly separate this. Then we'll rotate it a little bit and do the other side. Hopefully we can pop this bead off pretty easy. Separating a little bit there, looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and get some soapy water sprayed in there. We'll rotate it a little bit and we'll try on the other side. Hopefully we can get that to pop off pretty quick here. I went ahead and enlisted some help with a 2x4 here. We were able to get a little bit more surface area. As you can see, we're off the bead there. So that did the trick. I'm going to go ahead and just do this a little bit on the rest of it so it's nice and loose, and we'll go ahead and pull that bead lock ring on the front, and then it should be ready to come off the wheel. Just a few more pumps on the opposite side, and she went ahead and popped right off. That 2x4 definitely helped, so I definitely recommend that. Get that wider footprint to push this down. Alright, so now that we broke this inner bead, it is completely off now. We're going to go ahead, flip it over, and we'll pull the bead ring. Now, another thing to note, guys, if you do try to attempt this, these farm jacks, sometimes when you're backing them off, they can collapse really fast, or the handle can flip back and forth, so you just want to make sure you stay nice and clear of that guy. Alright, we're going to pull up a chair and we're going to go ahead and start working on all these bolts here. Like I said, I did go ahead and mark where it was before. I marked it on the back too, so we can get this kind of lined up just like we had it, so it's semi-balanced when I remount it. Do want to grab your 13mm. I got this on the Milwaukee ratchet, so that should help. We're going to go ahead and just start slowly loosening these. I'm going to kind of jump around. There's no pressure in the tire, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump around just so we relieve tension nice and easy. And then once this is off, the tire should come off fairly easy. I know people have had to use the little wheel spoons, the tire spoons, to get them off before, but we'll see when we get there. All right, here we go. Okay, we went ahead and got all those bolts out now. We'll go ahead and we'll pull the ring off. She is pretty dirty in there, so I'm going to go ahead and clean these up real good. I'm also going to clean these bolts up real good. They're pretty nasty. They do recommend that you get new bolts when you go ahead and swap these out. I am planning on replacing my tires pretty soon, and this will probably just ride on the spare for a while, so I'm going to reuse these ones. I did use lots of anti-seize when I first put it together. Glad I did, because some of them were still a little tricky to get out. As you can see, I do have quite a bit of mud in there. So let's go ahead and we'll vacuum this out again, and we'll try to get this outer bead off and get that wheel separated. Alright, we got the wheel up on a bucket now. I was able to go ahead and kind of pry back a little bit of this by hand. I'm going to try to use one of these panel tools, see if I can get in there and separate it. Okay, success. This little tool definitely did help. It took a little bit of muscle and a little bit of the kids' bubbles there, but we were able to get her on out. So now that wheel is separated, we can go ahead and set that aside, clean it up for later, and I can take this tire in to get repaired. Okay guys, that's going to be how to dismount your bead locks at home. I kind of don't recommend using the high lift jack. It was a little sketch off camera. When I let tension off it, it did drop quite a bit pretty quick. You just want to make sure you stay clear if you do use that method. They can be a little dangerous, as you guys know. If you do have the ARB jack, that'd be better. Or if you got a friend with a tire machine, go ahead and have them pull it off. But if you're like me and you need to get this done in your garage over the weekend and get it patched on Monday, this is the best way to do it. Just be careful with that jack, guys. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Go ahead and click that like button. Subscribe, let me know in the comments down below how you would do this, and then we'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys.